With knowledge. With intuition. With power. Soul Rise Woman. Begin.
Hello, I am Soul Rise Woman. Welcome to a new episode. Last week, we talked about feminine energy. We discussed how feminine energy is often misrepresented, what science actually says, and how it shows up in relationships, work, and everyday life. Today, we take one step further. What does it really mean to be a feminist? And how does feminism relate to feminine energy? On social media, we hear it all the time. I'm a feminist. Women's rights. But what does being a feminist truly mean? Do all women act with a clear understanding of this concept? Or does this term sometimes become a mask that unintentionally harms a woman's own psychology? Where does the world of 2025 to 2026 stand on this? Does this concept genuinely improve societies, individuals, and relationships, or does it sometimes create the opposite effect? And finally, what is the opposite of femininity? What does science say about this? What are the contributions and potential harms to female biology and psychology? If you're ready, let's begin. Feminism is often reduced to a few words: advocating for women's rights. But feminism is far more complex than that. At its core, feminism is an ideology that emerged to fight for social, political, and economic equality. The roots of the feminist movement include 19th century women's suffrage movements, 20th century labour rights and legal equality, radical feminism in the 1960s to 70s, today's intersectional feminism. In scientific literature, feminism refers to equal citizenship, rights for women, the removal of systemic oppression, the questioning of structural inequalities. This is not merely a slogan, it is a framework of structural analysis and transformation. According to reports from institutions such as the World Bank, UN Women, and the WHO, education girls' school attendance rates exceed 90% in many countries. However, women remain underrepresented in STEM fields. Workforce participation. Global female workforce participation is around 48%, while male participation is approximately 65%. Pay gap. The global gender pay gap ranges between 20 to 30%. Violence and health. A significant percentage of women worldwide report experiencing physical or psychological violence. Access to reproductive health care varies greatly by country. These numbers clearly show the feminist struggle is not theoretical. It remains deeply practical and necessary. For many women, feminism represents personal freedom, empowerment, and autonomy. Psychologically, this connects to self-efficacy, self-worth, and perceived control. However, feminist identity can also carry individual responsibility, social obligation, psychological triggers. For some women, this manifests as a constant search for justice, the pressure to fix the world, measuring self-worth through societal standards. These patterns can trigger chronic stress. Thus, feminism can lead to increased self-worth and empowerment, or a persistent sense of struggle. Emotional burnout. Scientific literature shows this is especially likely when expectations are high, but perceived control is low. This distinction is critical. Feminism is a social and political movement. It focuses on legal equality, structural analysis, systemic change. Feminine energy, however, is an internal bodily state. It involves feeling safe, emotional regulation, connection, intuition, and self-attunement. These two do not cancel each other out, but they are not the same. A woman can be a feminist while being disconnected from her feminine energy. Another woman may embody strong feminine energy without being an activist. The key point is this: feminism is a mental and societal framework. feminine energy is a lived, embodied experience. Hello, I am Soul Rise Woman. Welcome to a new episode. Last week, we talked about feminine energy. We discussed how feminine energy is often misrepresented, what science actually says, and how it shows up in relationships, work, and everyday life. Today, we take one step further. What does it really mean to be a feminist? And how does feminism relate to feminine energy? On social media, we hear it all the time. I'm a feminist. Women's rights. But what does being a feminist truly mean? Do all women act with a clear understanding of this concept? Or does this term sometimes become a mask that unintentionally harms a woman's own psychology? Where does the world of 2025 to 2026 stand on this? Does this concept genuinely improve societies, individuals, and relationships, or does it sometimes create the opposite effect? And finally, what is the opposite of femininity? What does science say about this? What are the contributions and potential harms to female biology and psychology? If you're ready, let's begin.